Do, do, do. Hello, hello. Hey, Crystal. Hi, guys. It's a Work It Wednesday. Not work it, but shadow work. How are you guys? Hi. I just got my glasses in right now. A couple pairs of my glasses I've been waiting for so I could see. Hey, guys. How are you guys today? I'm going to try on my glasses while I'm talking, while they came in. How are you guys? We're going to talk about healing. So if you have anyone, let's see. Oh, look. Boo. My little kissies on there. I love them so much. Let's see what else I have. You can make sure and invite anyone that you think will do or need shadow work, anything of that nature. I'm going to go ahead and invite our normal. Perfect. Hey. Trying on my glasses I just got while I'm waiting for everyone to come in. So these are my new Kissy Kiss face ones. Let's see what else I have. If you want to share anyone you think may need. Hey, Sassy. Hey, Iowa. Thank you. You know, I'm quirky. I'm kind of quirky. Ooh, looky. I kind of like these. What you think? These are kind of cute. I can't see when I drive. Oh, thank you. I can't see when I drive, and I can't see the TV. You like this pair? I do too. Reminds me of like my grandma's glasses, but they're cute. Yes, I love them so much. So I have another pair that is red, coming like those. Yeah, no, I definitely, maybe I can see now, right? So tonight we are going to do shadow work. So invite anyone who needs it. I'm going to try on my last pair of glasses because I'm so excited I finally got them in. So there we go. Ooh, I like these too. Hey guys. Yeah, I like these. These are kind of fun, right? A little feisty. Now class, sit down so you don't get in trouble. Hey Raven. I was trying on all I got a couple pairs of glasses in. So I like those. I like them all, right? I like them all. This is hello. Like the girl from Ghostbusters. And then here's the other, if you guys are just coming in. These little fancy smancy kissy face ones. Yeah, I was like, I can't see anymore. I lost all my glasses. So I had to get some before, you know, the adult thing, my FSA card expired. So anyway. Yeah, there's any optical. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I have a couple packages going out. I had a death in the family last week and we were sick and it's just been a hot mess, but I'm back. Everything's swell. Yeah, I like that website too. It's fun. There's a lot of fun stuff on there. So tonight, I did a really great class last night. And I'm not saying it because like I'm such an amazing teacher. I'm saying I did a great class because I love teaching because I always learn when I hear things again, right? And so the class I did last night was how to change your life with positive affirmation. Okay. And I will be doing the class again. I meant to hit record and I didn't. So I'm going to record it so you guys can have it too. It's one of the ones that is paid, but you do get a 40-page workbook, right? It's a 40-page workbook that I've created for you guys to, it has worksheets, how to create your own positive affirmations and things like that. Hey, help. And so there's a lot of different things, right, coming down the pike. I'm excited. If you're not in my group over on Facebook, again, I'll tell you real quick, there's the free group and there's going to be free access to that group. There's going to be things you're going to continuously learn from being in that group. There is going to be a paid portion of the academy part. January, we're starting to study ancient civilizations, and Egypt is the first one we're studying. We're going to talk about mummification. We're going to talk about the herbs that they used and why they did it. We're going to talk about how did they get to heaven or their afterlife. So we're going to talk about a lot of things, and then we're going to do Greece for February. So it's going to go ancient civilizations. You don't have to be a part of that. That's a paid part, but you don't have to be in that group. You're still going to get some of the information, right? You're going to get little random weird videos of me talking about stuff. So, all right. So how many of you guys get stuck in a rut and nothing works out? Anybody? Anybody tired of being stuck in a rut? Tired of being stuck in the spiral? Anybody? Every day, right? Every single day. We all have this, right? And we talked a little bit about it in the class last night, and that's where some of this came from, because you can't move forward into great things if you don't feel like you're good enough and you don't deserve it. Okay? You can't. Because I use this example. When you try to manifest, or you try to, hello, hey, Captain, when you try to manifest, or you try to say good things about yourself, you try to get good things to happen, okay? It is equivalent to going to McDonald's and ordering a banana popsicle and expecting it to come out exactly as you want. Okay? Hey, Robert. So, anyway, if you're down for continuously sending out all these vibes of the things that you don't want, that aren't actually what you want because you don't know, then continue on your journey, right? Continue being stuck in your spiral. If you want to change things, that's where I come in, right? Because you are absolutely worth it and good enough on your worst days, through all your mistakes that you've made, okay? All your mistakes you've made, you punish yourself enough, right? You don't need religion to tell you for them to punish you. You do it to yourself, because when you do something wrong, you go hide. You don't face it. You go and withdraw, or you get mad at yourself, or you say bad things, right? You don't feel like you're worth it. Things don't work out because you don't feel like you're worth it. Okay, you don't. And so I want to talk about 7 things. I'm going to talk about a lot of things, but 7 things to remember when you think you're not good enough. I think feeling not good enough is like a universal thing, right? Do you guys ever feel like you're not good enough? I know I do. Sometimes I'm like, why are you guys on here watching me? Like, I'm just a person, right? Yeah, I'm super familiar with tornadoes, right? We never feel good enough. We're always comparing ourselves. We're always thinking, if this would have happened, if that would have happened, why did that happen? Why did that person do that to me? Like, when it's all said and done, like, we were very self-centered, and we don't realize we're self-centered. Saying, why did they do that to me? That's actually self-centered, because you actually think that they did that to you. They do it to everybody, right? They do it to themselves. So it's a lot of mind tricks, right? Mind effery, I like to call it. So 7 things to remember when you think you're not good enough. It is your born right to have happiness. It is. It is your right to be happy. You can't be happy, though, unless you feel like you're worth it. You can't love. You can receive love and you can give love, right? Even if you don't love yourself fully. But I promise to you, to the moon and back, when you love from that place, you love differently and receive love differently. Okay? So, 7 things to remember when you think you're not good enough. We cannot hate ourselves into a version of ourselves that we can love. Okay, I want you to think about that and understand it. We cannot hate ourselves into a version of ourselves that we will love. You can't say enough bad things about yourself to make you love yourself more. Okay? You can't. You can't hate yourself into loving yourself. It's actually very opposite. You cannot hate yourself into a version that you're going to love. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes we're really terrible to ourselves, and we like to compare ourselves to other people. No matter how many times I personally hear that I'm good enough and I'm lovable and I deserve all these things. You still struggle because you're human, but you still struggle, right? You have trauma, you have trapped in things you have to work through. And even then, sometimes it comes back to bite you, right? It's there, like tap, tap, tap. So, some of the things that I want you to listen to, right? And there's about 5 of them that are, I feel like, crucial things. The people that you compare yourselves to, does anybody compare themselves to other people, right? I do. We all do. We all do, because we're human, right? We look at ourselves. We want to look differently. We want to weigh differently. We want our face fixed. We don't want things on our face, that we don't want. We want this. We want that. We want to have a certain kind of hair, right? We compare ourselves constantly, even if we don't realize it, right? Yeah, see, Raven, it's we compare all the time, right? And so I'm heavier. I work with a gal at work, and she is very tiny. We have the exact same esteem struggles, right? Exact same esteem. I'm like, if I could just be in your body for a week, and she's like, if I could just be in your body for a week. It's the same struggles, guys. It's the same struggles emotionally, right? It's the same. The people you compare yourself to compare themselves to other people. Hey, Orlin. The people that you compare yourselves to compare themselves to other people too. How does that make you feel? It's kind of strange to think about, right? People who are further along in their path, people whose businesses are further along, people who have more friends, people who have lost weight, people who have done this, people who've done that. People that you compare yourself to compare themselves to other people. Hey, Ghost Hunter, how are you, precious? So every time you compare yourself to someone else, you're literally comparing yourself to someone else who compares themselves to someone else who compares himself to someone else who compares himself to someone else. Right? I don't think anybody thinks about that. You think that person has it all together, but I promise you at some point they're comparing themselves to somebody else. You're incomparable. You're so funny. It is. It's repeated behavior that us as humans, this is what we do. So while we're wishing that we're like that person, you really are like that person because you're literally wishing to be like someone else, right? And so it's something that you have to constantly think about, right? Because even the best of people, the most beautiful people, oh my gosh, what happened? Wow, that was weird. So it happens, right? It happens. And everybody mirrors, even the camera wants to run. I know. So you just don't compare yourself. I say that like it's so easy. Just don't do it. I know it's not easy, right? I know it's not. We all compare ourselves to other people. I can assure you that all people do it, even the people that think that they have it all. I know, guys, it was so strange in my class last night. Enigma was in it. And all of a sudden, I would say certain things and my camera would zoom up. Like it's never happened that way before. Ever. I would say something else and it would zoom in and zoom all the way back out. And it's not something that my camera does typically. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. So when you look at other people through a lens of compassion and understanding rather than judgment and jealousy, you're better able to see them for exactly what they are, and they're human beings. Okay? On this app, TikTok, it's insane, right? It's insane. I was terrified to come on here, right? I was terrified. And when I finally did, I was like, yeah, I had a reason to be terrified, but people are people, right? People are going to make mistakes, right? And there's a difference between mistakes and patterns. When someone has a pattern and continuously makes the same things happen, that is a pattern, right? That's something that you need to move away from. But people are going to make mistakes, okay? They're human. We put everybody around us on pedestals thinking they should be a certain way. They're human. All the people in this chat, human. Now, some of us might be extraordinary. We might have all different kinds of things. They may say they're part alien. I don't know. But in the end, we have human emotions, right? Humanity. It's kind of a disgusting thing sometimes, but it's also very beautiful. You're not alone in this. You're human. When you look at other people through a lens of compassion and understanding rather than judgment and jealousy, you're better able to see them for what they are. They are human. They are beautifully imperfect human beings going through the same universal challenges that we all go through. Oh yeah, no, I get it. I'm waiting for my spaceship to come every day. Every day. Or I'd like to think, like, surely I'm not from here, right? This is not my home planet. No, I get it. 100%. But when it comes all said and done, right? No matter what you believe, you're here to have experiences to gain wisdom, okay? And someone else's experiences and wisdom that they need to be gaining, you may not want a part of. So find your place, let people be. Don't judge them, don't bash them online. Don't, just let them be. It's their path, right? It's their path. They're not ready. Or they have totally different things they're supposed to do this lifetime, okay? Your mind can be a very convincing liar, okay? Your mind, your ego loves to prove you right when you think bad things are happening, right? It loves it. It doesn't like to be wrong. It will fight you, fight you, fight you. Fight you till you go into depression and hide because you were wrong. Your mind can be a convincing liar. Your mind and your subconscious is there to protect you from situations that it deems might not be so great. But in the end, not every situation is going to be the same, right? And we constantly are comparing one situation to another situation, thinking that they're going to be exactly the same. And you give the exact same trauma response, though it's not the same at all, okay? And if it is the same, you need to do work because it's a spiral that you're stuck on and you've not learned what you're supposed to learn, okay? So your mind is a convincing liar. There was a quote that says, don't believe everything you think. That altered the way that I react when cruel or discouraging things go through my mind, right? You have a thought. It doesn't mean it's reality. It means that if you keep thinking about it, it can be reality. Choose wisely what you pour your energy into, okay? Your mind can be a very convincing liar. It can convince you that people that love you fiercely don't like you at all, right? It can convince you that everyone out there is talking bad about you, and actually they have so much shit going on in their life that if they are talking about you, it's just not, it doesn't even matter, right? It can convince you that something someone said when they were in a situation with a bunch of people talking bad, that they weren't strong enough to get out, that they've been plotting against you forever. It can convince you of some crazy stuff, okay? Your mind is a liar, different from intuition, okay? Different. Thoughts are thoughts, and it's unhealthy and exhausting to give so much power to your negative thoughts. You have 51,000 thoughts or more a day. A day. Takes a half a second for a thought to pop through your mind. What thoughts are you giving energy? What thoughts are you bringing energy into and making them become, bringing them into fruition? Number 3, there is more right with you than wrong. Right? There's more right with you than wrong. It can convince you of some amazing things. Absolutely. You got millions. There is more right with you than wrong. We tend to zoom in on our flaws. Okay? It's easy. It's the easy way out. Right? If I could just look that way, if I just had this, if this just didn't happen, if this wouldn't have happened. There is a quote from Jon Kabat-Zinn, until you stop breathing, there's more right with you than wrong with you. Okay? You have to remember that when you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't know why you keep pulling the same people in. You don't know why you keep falling for things. You don't know why you continuously pour from a full cup. You don't know why you don't know why. There's more right with you than there is wrong. we like to zoom in on perceived flaws. And the thing is the perceived flaws that we have, some people don't even see. And if they do see them, they think of them as just part of being you. It's not even a flaw. It's a character. It's a characteristic of you, right? They may not see it as a flaw. That's you. That's what you zoom in. And ultimately, the good thing, one of the good things you have about yourself is that you're alive and breathing, and you can pave new paths whenever you want. Whenever you want. Whenever. Number 4 is for you to remember you need love most when you feel you deserve it the least. You need love most when you feel like you deserve it the least. In those situations, we tend to push our loved ones away, right? We don't want them to know what we did, or that we had that thought, or that we have intrusive thoughts, or that we spent the money the wrong way, or that we said something bad, or we did something bad, right? You need love most when you feel like you deserve it the least. It's the most difficult to accept love and understanding from others when you're in a state of anger, shame, anxiety, or depression. But when you understand you need it the most, when you feel you deserve it the least, is the greatest gift that you can give yourself, right? Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. When you expect people to hate you, maybe they will, right? Maybe they will. But you're going to have people who are truly invested in helping you become the highest version of yourself that there is, that are going to be like, yeah, you sure did fuck up. That's right. But you know what? You move on and you focus on the good stuff and you keep going forward, right? Do you want to repeat it again? Probably not. Then pull up those big girl underwear, right? Or big boy underwear, whatever you want to call it. And let's move forward. You need love most when you feel you deserve it the least. When you wake up, you're being a raging bitch. If you're not a bitch, an ass, whatever. When you say something wrong that you really, really tried not to say and you still said it because you thought you had healed further than that. You're like disappointed in yourself because you thought you were further along. You need love the most then. You need love the most then, right? And you need to think about the people around you, right? Someone really mess up, they probably need someone. Okay. Number 5 is you have to fully accept and make peace with the now before you can reach and feel satisfied with the later. It's not when this happens, this is going to be great. Okay. Hey, Nicole. It's not when this happens, it's going to be great. You have to fully accept and make peace with the now. This is where you are. This is who you are right now. The good, the bad, the ugly. Right? The depression, the screaming fits, the ugly cries, the I don't know what I want to do, the I'm going to hide from everybody because I just need a break. All those things, right? All those things. You have to fully accept those things before you can move forward or even look forward, right? Because if you don't accept them, it goes with you forward and then you're still there, okay? Making changes and reaching for the next piece on the ladder, you won't ever feel stable and have a stable step on that ladder that you're climbing until you're stable and safe on this one, right? Think about that ladder that you climb, right? And you're like, it's fine, it's rickety, it's no big deal, it's fine. It's fine, I'm totally just gonna skip that one, and then you bust your butt, right? Something happens. Until you're steady on that step that you're on, you don't need to go to the next one, right? You don't know what the next one's going to bring. Be accepting and at peace with where you're at. It is the climb. Yeah, and I love that song, actually. So yeah, it is. You have to think about it. So when you're at Lowe's or you're somewhere and you see a ladder, think about that, right? Because you don't know which step's going to be the strongest, right? You're just taking a step. You don't care because sometimes you skip and try to go fast and then you're going to bust your butt. Okay? It is Miley Cyrus. If back in our old school Hannah Montana days. So you have to fully accept and make peace with the now before you can reach and feel satisfied with the later. Number 6, focus on the progress you have rather than perfection, and on how long you've come rather than how far you have left to go. So when you're like, I still have so much to do. I'm never satisfied, right? I'm bad about that. I have so much to do. I always have so much to do. But look how far you've come. And I have to use this in my own life. Look how far I've come. Hey, Shane. Work it. Not work it. But shadow work. You have to focus on how far you've come. If I look at, and I use myself as an example because I'm not going to call one of you guys out on things, right? But if I look how far I've come from not ever wanting to even be on my first live I did on TikTok, I was terrified. I think I did my first live 5 or 6 times because I'm like, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to do? Blah, 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 blah. Right? And now I'm like, I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to reach the right people. I know the universe is going to put the right people in my path. I expect the universe to do its job just like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Right? Focus on your progress, not how far you have to go, right? You too, Avron. I know it's kind of difficult, especially for those of us that this is not their comfort zone. Focus on your progress rather than perfection, and how far you've come rather than how far you have left to go. One of the biggest causes of self-loathing and self-sabotage is the hell-bent need to get it right. To get it right. What we don't seem to realize that working towards our goals and being willing to put ourselves out there, that in itself is a huge accomplishment, right? Sometimes I look at all the stuff I've seen happen, especially here on TikTok. It's crazy. People are so mean, right? They're so mean. But being willing to put myself out here again and again, for me, I have to see that as progress on my end. Because if I look at how far I have to go with the things I want to do with it, I will get so discouraged, right? Because it's like, it's not here yet. It's not here yet. What do I do? What do I do? So you have to look at how far you've come. Accepting the failures and helps you get to the right place too. Absolutely. Yeah. Don't focus on how far you have left to go because you don't know when life's going to take a different turn, right? Look how far you've come. Look how far you guys have come after all you've been through, all your worst days. All your worst days that you have had in your whole life, and you're still here, right? You're still here. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jay. Out of all your worst days that you've had, all the bad things, and you're still here. You're here in Work It Wednesday, trying to better yourself, right? Instead of beating yourself up for messing up and stumbling backwards because why even try because I already messed it up, give yourself a pat on the back for trying, making progress, and coming as far as you've come, right? Number 7, I already said this one, but you can't hate your way into loving yourself. You cannot hate your way into loving yourself more. You can't hate your way into loving yourself at all. You cannot hate your way into manifestation of positive things. You can't hate your way into falling in love with who you are. You can't do it, right? Your subconscious knows when you're talking bad about other people because it feels it as if you're talking bad about yourself. It doesn't distinguish between. It just distinguishes between heavy energy, right? Your subconscious isn't sitting back there going, is she talking about me? Is she wait, who's she talking about? It only feels the negative energy, right? You can't hate your way into loving yourself more. You can't hate your way into it. Telling yourself what a failure you are is not going to make you more successful. It's not. It's going to make you stop. It's going to make you not want to do it. It's going to make you want to climb into bed and forget that you even tried. Telling yourself you're not living up to your full potential is not going to help you. Telling yourself that you're a wimp and you won't go up that ladder. Some of us are twisted and are like, hell yeah, I will, because you just dared me. Most of the time, you're not going to do it. Right? Telling yourself you're worthless and unlovable will not make you feel lovable. How is that working for you? Okay? Do you feel loved and lovable after telling yourself all these years you're not lovable? How's it working for you? Right? Super passionate about it, guys. How is that working for you? Talking to myself too, right? How's that working for you, Kitty? Well, it's not, right? Because if it was, then it'd be fine. It'd be great. No, it's not. The answer is it's not working for any of us. It makes us sour people. It makes us be mean and hateful and have yucky energy. It's not. It doesn't work. Telling yourself you're worthless and unlovable is not going to make you feel worthy or lovable. It just won't. Yet you do it every single day, expecting a different response. Right? Hey, adorable. The only way to achieve self-love is to love yourself, regardless of who you are and where you stand. Even if you want to change everything about you, even if there's not a whole lot that you like, the fact that you are able to sit down and determine that you want to change is huge, right? It's huge. You're enough exactly where you are. And self-love will be a little bit easier each time you remind yourself of that, right? Be gracious with yourself. Definition of crazy: doing the same thing over and over and expecting different. It is, and we do it every day, right? We do it every day. We do it every day. And we don't think anything about it, but it's true. My brain works as a problem solver, right? I'm a manager at a company, and I problem solve 24 hours a day. And you do the same thing over and over, you get the same results. It's just how it is, right? If you want something different, you do something different. Okay? And if you're in that part of your life and you recognize that, then let's go, right? Let's go. You cannot hate your way into loving yourself. Stop. Stop hating yourself and expecting to have different results. Okay? The next part I'm going to do, because this is a huge part of this, right? I know I get on here sometimes and it's like I make it sound so easy. Don't think that I don't have hard times, right? I do, because healing is not a straight line, right? It is a spiral in itself. It's a roller coaster, right? You're healed and you have things that you've worked through, and you're so proud at how far you've come. And then something happens that used to make you upset, and all of a sudden it makes you upset again. And you're like, I knew better. Why did I let it get to me? It's part of you, right? It's part of you. And sometimes it comes out. But being able to identify that is huge. So, I want to talk to you about feeling good enough and why sometimes we don't feel good enough. Because it's easy to say, love yourself. I don't know why you don't love yourself. Just love yourself, right? There's things that happen throughout our life that affects us. And no child is born into this world when you were a baby. Oh, you're so welcome. No child is born into this world as a baby with self-doubt. You don't come into the world thinking, I'm just a little baby here and I'm never going to amount to anything, right? You don't. You were born pure energy. You can do whatever you want. You learn through crying, you get a bottle. Not all of us have parents that could teach us that you're capable of doing huge, huge things, right? There's a reason why we feel this way. So this is 6 reasons why you may feel like you're not good enough, okay? And I want to just give you some food for thought on it. Having low self of sense-worth usually stems from deep-rooted issues. True story. If you were raised in a trauma-filled home, you might have grown up not knowing what your place is in this world. The good news is this change is always possible with reflection and doing inner work. What does feeling good enough even mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? Feeling good enough can sound like a foreign concept to survivors of trauma that they struggle to understand. Being good enough means, here's some things that it means. And for those of you that are new to me, I put out 2 videos already with kind of highlights of this. And then if you go to my website tomorrow or later on tonight, it's craftbykittilyn.com. And the Work It Wednesdays are there under Work It Wednesday to where you can go back and rewatch it. Okay. So what does feeling good enough even mean? It means you're good enough just as you are, flaws and all. Okay. All your flaws, you are good enough. You're good enough even if you aren't where you want to be yet. Do you guys set goals and then feel like you're not good enough because you failed or you messed up? Sometimes people who have addictions, who have different disorders, like my son who struggles, he is bipolar, right? And when he has those explosions, he feels not good enough, right? When he was little, he didn't feel good enough. He didn't feel like it was, feeling good enough. You're enough and can continue to grow and change as a person. You don't need to become more valid. You don't need to become more valid or worthy in other people's eyes. Okay, you are enough. Yeah, you stop setting goals. But if you will, it's what we talked about last night in class, right? Setting goals, having positive affirmations, having these things to retrain yourself, right? So feeling good enough or worthy of love is vital to living a happy, healthy, well-adjusted life. Otherwise, it can lead to experiencing issues with codependency, forming and maintaining unhealthy, toxic relationships. Does this sound familiar for anyone? And I'm never saying you guys, I always talk to myself half the time when I do these too. So I understand. So here's some reasons why you may not feel good enough, and see if any of these resonate with you, right? Because there's always a counteraction that you can say or do when these emotions come up. Reasons why you may not feel good enough. You had a traumatic past. The most common reason for not feeling good enough. Sorry, I'm turning off invites right now. The most common reason for not feeling good enough is experiencing childhood trauma. With a shattered sense of self-worth, a core belief that you can't trust anyone, you felt responsible for what you endured, particularly if you're a survivor of abuse. When it comes to kids, they internalize the idea that they are wrong and worthless, so they deserved it. I'm going to read that to you again, just in case you missed it. The most common reason for not feeling good enough is experiencing childhood trauma. With shattered sense of self-worth, a core belief that you cannot trust anyone, you felt responsible for what you endured, particularly if you are a survivor of abuse. When it comes to kids, they often internalize the idea that they are wrong and worthless, so they deserved it. Okay? This could be a reason why you feel like you're not good enough. Okay? If this is one of the reasons why you feel like you're not good enough, you can heal from it, right? You can. I'm not saying it's easy. Healing is a loop-de-loop roller coaster, but you can. Number 2, your hidden core beliefs are running the show, right? Your hidden core beliefs are running the show. Your subconscious is stronger than you will ever perceive it to be. Regardless of whether your thoughts are positive or negative, low self-worth is connected to our underlying assumptions about the world, other people, ourselves, and we mistake them for facts. For example, a parent who suddenly leaves their family one day with no reason, the child evolves to understand it that if somebody loves them, they will leave. Even if the parent returns after a few days, the belief remains, and the child grows up not allowing anyone to get close to them personally or romantically because they're terrified that person's going to leave. You were told nothing caused trauma in your childhood. You had a perfect one. So I don't know if a counselor told you that or who told you that, but for me, and this is just my personal belief, I'm not a counselor, is that trauma is anything that disrupts your energy. So it's anything that turns your energy upside down and changes to the core who you are. And for some people, it does not have to be anything what others would deem significant, if that makes sense. My husband's family, you by looking at them would think there was nothing ever wrong that would cause him to have any trauma. I like to say my family is openly crazy and his is secretly crazy. So there are things that can happen because the way you perceive things and the way your subconscious would do that as a child, even if it's not something that happened per se as exactly how you remember, your body, your emotion, your everything remembers it that way, right? And so even if you can't remember it, right, your subconscious still keeps you away from dangerous situations. A parent who suddenly leaves their family one day without giving a reason, the child then evolves to understand that if someone loves them, they'll leave. Even if the parent returns after a few days, the belief remains, and the child grows up not allowing anyone to get close to them personally or romantically. Number 3, if you pay attention, your inner voice is actually very judgmental and very critical. Listen to your thoughts that roam in your mind and the words that you use towards yourself. Listen to them. 51,000 thoughts a day on average. How many of them are negative? How many of them are defeating, ugly thoughts that pop into your head? You can't necessarily control them, but what you can do is you can counteract them with things. So if you say, why do I have to do this again? I am going to move through this as gracefully as possible. That counteracts that. You may have to beat it into your forehead 5,000 times, right? Speaking to yourself in a negative echo of the voices you heard from your childhood, your parents growing up who used criticism and judgment to control and manipulate you when you were a child, or people around you did this, right? I'm not saying that your parents did this. I'm saying most people have situations to where when you were younger, you have family, you have other people around you that were judgmental and critical on you. The things adults used to say to you caused you to feel not good enough because you were young and you didn't understand. Mindfulness is an excellent strategy for slowing down those thoughts enough so you can hear your true self, your inner voice more clearly. It's about observing your thoughts. Observing your thoughts. Don't feel guilty that you have the thoughts. Observe them, right? Don't push them down. Stop pushing your shit down. See where it's got you so far, right? Stop pushing it down. Allow yourself to feel and be like, oh, where'd that come from, right? You could have had the most fantastic home and a great neighborhood and great parents who are still together loving each other. But maybe you didn't get the approval that every child needs for you, right? Maybe that's how it affected you. If your parents always wanted you to do better, be more athletic, get better grades, be a little more quiet, or if they favored your sibling, the message of not being good enough was evident. Okay? It does not have to be something that some would deem super traumatic. If you got compared to other things, if you had to do things differently, that way you would get the same love as other people, right? It's not always a violent childhood, right? It's not always physical violence. It's not always something that just stands out like crazy. Because children naturally seek approval and love from their parents and the people who are around them, right? Because they need them to protect them. So they're going to do things differently to make sure that they're loved and protected. So when need is, we learn to suffocate who we are and become a perfect child to receive acceptance, right? As a child, you are learning, children are learning, okay, I did that and they acted that way, but if I want her to be happy with me, then I'm going to do this. Not all children are that way, right? But most are to some point, right? They naturally seek approval and love for parents. And in turn, we turn into adults who never experience a genuine sense of self-worth. Self-worth. You have to know who you are, right? As children, we grow up and the people around us mold us, right? It's a community. We learn who we are, and then if it's not accepted in our community, then we change who we are. That way we are loved and we get the things that we need. Then you grow up acting a role that's not even you, right? You don't even know who you are, and you're an adult. I am 46 years old, and I'm still discovering things about myself, right? You don't ever stop learning. Number 5, your primary caregiver or parent may not have been able to offer security and stability, and this may not be anything of their own doing, right? That's why as parents, as adults, we are part of someone's shadow. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just not. Some people take things differently. Some experiences, we grow. The parent I was to my oldest, I changed, when I had my youngest. So there's some differences. You're always a part of someone else's shadow. Your primary caregiver or parent could not offer security and stability. That could be on purpose. That could be because of alcohol, drugs, you name it. It could be because they passed away. It could be of circumstances that they had no control over. Kids need parents who can provide a sense of security. Some parents, however, are simply unable to be there for their kids when they need them to be. Whether it's due to unresolved trauma, mental health issues, or toxic marriage that demanded most of their attention, if a parent is unwell, kids often feel the need to take on their happiness. If only you behaved in a certain way, you did certain things, if you were only a little bit smarter, your parents would then be okay, right? But it wasn't your responsibility, and that's what you did. You may not even have known that that's what you were doing, right? You were trying to make him happy. And you still do that to this day because that's what you know to do. Okay? Number 6 is you didn't experience a secure attachment as a child. Maybe you didn't have a caregiver who could offer unconditional love and trust. Attachment theory believes that a child needs unconditional love for the first 7 years of life and the ability to trust their primary caregiver to form a secure attachment. Otherwise, they can have trouble trusting other people, themselves, and have low self-esteem. This is also known as anxious attachment. Anybody have anxious attachment? Right? It's not always necessarily your parents' fault or someone's fault. These are things that can happen because they just happen, but it still affects you in that way, right? As children, you need unconditional love for the first 7 years of life so you can develop good so you can learn how to attach and not be codependent and all these things. And finally, it's not always about the past. The environments and the experiences of your childhood affect you in one way or another, but there are other factors. Some of us are born with naturally more sensitive personalities, and some of us experience abusive relationships as a teenager or as a child. At the end of the day, remind yourself that you've always done the best you could, and that's going to have to be good enough. And if you feel that you could benefit from other support, doing shadow work, having friends, all those things, then there's places all over that you can reach out for help, right? You cannot hate yourself into loving yourself. You can try. How's it working for you? It's not. It's not. So that is tonight's Work It Wednesday. When you think you're not good enough, when you think that you're not good enough. Remember, there's more right with you than wrong. Okay? Your mind is a very convincing liar. Remember, you need love the very most when you feel like you deserve it the least. The times that you go and hide, or I used to be this way and I'm still this way. I just don't fight or explode as much as I used to. But you know, you have that light switch that flips, and I call it a bitch fit, but you flip out. And then afterwards you calm down and you're like, what in the hell was that? You need love. You need love the most in those moments. If you don't have people around you, and I'm not saying that allow you to be shitty to them. I'm saying if you don't have people around you that will call you out on your shit, you need some more people around you. Okay? You need other people around you. You need love the most when you feel you deserve it the least. You have to accept peace with what's going on right this moment before you can ever move forward. If you're on a ladder climbing, you need to make sure the step you're on right now is safe and sturdy before you try to step up to another one. You have no idea what the next step is going to have. You don't know. You could look at it all day long, and then you could stand on it and it break and you bust your ass. Are you tired of busting your ass? You get into armadillo mode, shielded. Yeah, I do too. I do too. When I've been hurt, or I know I'm acting crazy or whatever, I do the same thing. I will withdraw, right? I withdraw. Then I get disappointed in myself because I'm like, I thought I was past that. There, I did it again. You know, we're hard on ourselves. So you have to make peace with the now before you can reach later. Check the step you're on now. Don't go climbing ladders when you don't know what's on the next step. Stop it right now. And one of my favorite things to stop and ponder is the people that you compare yourselves to, they sit and compare themselves to other people too. They are just like you. They may look different. They may have different jobs. They may have different houses. They may look like they have it together. The people you compare yourselves to compare themselves to other people. Okay? They do. They are no better than you. They are no different than you in the experiences that you're having here on earth, right? It may feel that way, right? But everybody has things to learn. Everybody has storms to go through, some more than others. But you can go through things gracefully, right? As gracefully as possible, and learn and appreciate that crappy time because you learned something from it, right? You're not going to do it again because you don't want to go back there. So I hope this helped you guys tonight. I will have a lot of other classes going forward, and I will also, of course, always have Work It Wednesday. If you want to rewatch this and you weren't able to watch it all, it will go on YouTube tonight, and it'll also go up on my website, Craft by Kitty Lynn. It will be on there, and you guys can go back and watch it. There are self-sabotage classes. There are free classes, these classes that we do on Wednesdays, that are available on there for you guys if you get stuck. There's some on grief. It's all about healing, right? So go on there, check it out if you want. If you're not in my class over on Facebook, let's get you there. You're welcome. If you want K-Drain, if you want to watch it again, I'm going to download it and I'll put it on my website and on YouTube. So I'm Craft by Kitty Lynn across all social media, so it's really easy to find. I'm here every Wednesday talking about how you can be a better person, how you can raise your vibration, right? I'm learning with you guys, right? We're growing together. So I hope this helps you guys. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Lots of fun things coming. So I appreciate your support. I couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you, Violet. You guys have a beautiful night, and I will be on tomorrow to do some Reiki. Just a little bit, like 30 minutes. Maybe I'll have a new playlist. So we'll do some Reiki tomorrow, and we'll go from there. I hope you guys have an amazing night. Right? It's work it, not work it, work it. Shadow work. Do your shadow work. Bye, guys.